Hello there and welcome to the Glow Up Method. This is the place where we share our stories, we share our wisdom, all on this journey to live a purposeful, meaningful life of our own, to discover who we are, what is it we want to do with ourselves, and then share that information with other people. Hi, my name is Natasha. I will be your host today. I am so excited and honored to be here with you today. Today's topic is ultra personal, and I know it's something you have dealt with before in your past, is what do you do when you are making your decisions, you're doing things you want to do, and you're not necessarily supported by the people that you love and like and want in your life. And here's the thing for me, is my whole life, I would wait and see what people wanted me to do. I would show up the way others felt more comfortable than myself. And so I'm in this part of my journey where, again, like I say, not everybody's going to understand, because not everybody, but the only person is me that has walked in my shoes, right? So not everybody is going to understand. You know my side of the story, you know what I share with you, but you never can have the full gravity of what my experience is unless you've lived it. Even the people within my household. So as I've been very candid on here, I'm exploring the option of reconciling with Chris. We are spending a lot of time together, and I find myself, when I'm not with him, longing to be with him more. What is this? I don't know. Again, this is a lot of unpacking to do. But the more time I spend with him, there becomes more and more clear of what it is I want to do. And I'm enjoying this time of my life, and I have to honor that. And unfortunately, my daughter is not in support of that. And in some ways, it is so sweet, right? I know that there's a part of her that just wants to protect me. I know that there's a part of her that wants to protect her. I know that she is entitled to all of her beliefs and feelings. Believe me, I've had them too. But some things, I have to believe that things change, and I have to believe, because I know my story, and I'm not saying Chris is or isn't going to change, and I'm not building this idea on who I expect him to be. This distance that we had between us, and then the ultimate actual distance, like when he was in my face and irritating the crap out of me with his negative juju and vibes, like I was feeling like I was in a literal hell. And there were times where it was okay and it was peaceful, and I'm like, oh wait, he's being nice today. Like, this isn't so bad. Like, I kind of like this Chris. But then the minute he would huff and puff and slam and get negative and yell, I was like, I can't take this. I just want peace. Like, this is so chaotic. This is unhealthy. And so when he left, I really expected to feel this overwhelming sense of relief, like finally, ding dong, the witch is dead. Like, but no, it wasn't like that. And there were moments there where I had peace. I didn't have to worry about hearing the garage and the panic that used to ensue in me when the garage would open, because I didn't know what version of Chris was walking in the door, which again was this extension of what it was like growing up with my dad. And I didn't put that together until only, recently, that there was this connection between Chris and my dad. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've lived my whole life like this. And so I am now at this crossroads where it's like, I know I can honor what my daughter wants and make her happy, right? Like, make it easier on her. And she's my daughter, and I love her, and I don't want her to be in any pain or strife. But I have to honor where I'm at. This is what the glow up journey is about. It's about honoring it, who you are. And I get it. Sometimes it's not explicable. Sometimes it's not always understood or supported by other people. But you have to live your life. For so many years, I lived as a shell of a person because I didn't honor who I was or what I wanted. And on the contrary, because I was so in fear of knowing who I was, because I knew whoever I was going to upset somebody, I silenced myself. I ignored everything I wanted. I put myself on the back burner. And I'm at a place in my life now where that's just not an acceptable option, no matter who you are. So I get it. I love you to my kids. I love you all with all of my heart. I give you everything I've got. I give you my mental support, my energy, my finances, everything. I give it to you without any expectations of getting anything back. That is unconditional love. To me, that is my opinion. I give without ever wanting anything back. And I understand when I have built this whole world around these kids that at times my decisions, and especially for the girls, I think for boys, again, they are pretty consistent. I've always said they're easy creatures. You feed them, you give them a little attention, you give them love, you give them something to get their energy out. Like, they're typically happy creatures. The women, we get a little bit more complex, right? We're a little bit more dynamic. And this is, again, generalization. There are women that are the other way and there are men the other way. But within my family dynamics, this is very much the case. So the boys are in full support of whatever I want to do. They're like, listen, I don't even care. Just as mom's happy, I'm happy. Like, I just don't want to hear it. I don't want to, whatever it is. And of course, if in some world their parents could be together, that would be, the bee's knees for them. But the truth is, eventually these people are going to go out and live their own life. At some point in time, we will have an empty nest, and it will either be Chris and I, it'll be myself alone and Chris alone, or Chris with somebody else, or myself with somebody else. And this is my life to explore. And, for so many years, I would just bend what it is I wanted to avoid the conflict. And now I'm at a place I just can't do that. And so I get it. It's a real conflict because, I this evening had invited Chris to spend the night here, which would mean he comes in the house, which would mean going up the stairs and coming down the stairs in the morning, going up the stairs in the evening, going down the stairs in the morning. There is the potential for, crossing paths, right? He will be upstairs. He will say hi to his other kids. He will, hang out with me. We'll watch a show. We'll go to sleep. It's late at night. Nothing, we're not hanging out in the kitchen. We're not doing anything in a common space. We're I just want to hang out, right? And my daughter doesn't want him here. And so I get that. I could also go to his house and go someplace else and go hang out in a car, go someplace else. But the truth of the matter is I don't want to. And I would like to also be at my home and also be with him. And I know, I get it. He moved out. Like, he had his chance, right? But the person that he was, and the person most importantly I was prior to him moving out, was very different. I have changed. Why have I changed? Because I see him differently. There is a sense of compassion as a person, as a human, as a whole. I've always had compassion. Like, I've always given him excuses, and I've always given him grace for the way in which he was grown up. And, sometimes I get a little hard-headed and I'm like, listen, I didn't have a great childhood either. And look at me, but on the same turn, we are different people on different paths and at different parts of our own personal journeys. So who am I to sit here and judge? And so I do believe everything happens for a reason. I do believe that, like I have said here before, I had a friend, he told me I deserve to be happiness. That was the catalyst for change in my life. And if all this situation happened and something great comes out of it, then it was worth it. It is worth it for him to have moved out. It is worth it for him to have temporarily invested into somebody else. And, he is here now. He is here spending time with me. He is here doing these things. He hasn't filed any divorce paperwork. And it's weird that he's in another apartment in another place. And it's also a great opportunity for us to talk and bond without the distractions when the kids are all, asleep or busy and doing their things, that we're able to kind of, in a sense, date and figure out who we are without having all of those expectations and all the judgment and all the resentment in there. And now I know it doesn't just disappear. It hasn't all gone, but I do feel like we are in such a healthier place now than we've ever been, even at the times when we were in counseling, because there was just so much hostility in there. And I just don't have that. I don't feel that sense of hostility from him at this point. I'm not saying it can't come. I'm not saying it won't happen. Not saying that, for myself, things aren't going to come up. I don't have a crystal ball, but what I do know is where I am right now. That's all I can. I can't worry about the future and what possibilities can happen or whatever. All I can do is control right now. And right now, I really would like to spend time with them here in this house. And I'm not saying we're going to sit around the table and play Kumbaya and sing or something like that. Like, no. So I really hope, and I understand my daughter's boundaries. I don't want her to, feel like she needs to succumb and she needs to do what I'm doing. No, she's on her own timeline and on her own path and journey. But I have to honor mine. I can't always put everybody ahead of myself like I have my whole life, because that drained me. That depleted me. And I feel happy right now. I feel joy again. Yes, I still have all those stressors. Yes, all the financial crap is still there. Yes, all the parenting burdens are all still there. Yes, the putting away the Christmas decorations were there. But it is different and it is improved. I am not worrying and stressing over certain things. I had my car thing. I got my car back, and actually she drives better than she's driven in years. Like, it is smooth. So here's the thing. If I'm using it as a metaphor, the car, yes, it was an investment. I needed to invest a lot of money into it, just like I'm investing a lot of time into Chris. And yeah, with my car, there was a quick turnaround and it was fixed and good. But now it's not going to be as quick as it is with Chris, because we're humans, we're people, we're not automobiles. But it shows that there is still this potential within this relationship, just like with the car. If you put in the work and you invest the time, I do believe that you can have, the income. You're the one that decides the value. Many people in this situation would have been like, the car's a goner, invest that new money and energy into a new vehicle. And I know that's an option. But I didn't also want to rush into anything, just like I could rush into a new relationship when I wasn't really in the headspace to think about getting something new. I really still enjoy what I have. And that's just part of me. I'm a loyal person. I get really comfortable. I don't move a lot. I don't, get new vehicles a lot. I wear the same outfits a lot. If I go to the same dance classes, but just a different, tune. I know what I like and I enjoy, and I like doing those. I feel comfort and peace in that. I do take risks and I do go out there and take a challenge. And now I'm learning, like, hey, I'm going to keep this car. And then I'm also going to keep my eyes open to see like what other possibilities there are. And it's a very interesting place to be in, right? Like I obviously am grateful that the car is running better than ever, just like our relationship is working better than ever. So again, the metaphor and the like similarities are just crazy to me. And I really get it that people are not going to understand my decision to invest into something old when I could have just invested that in something new. And I get that. But I hope at the end of the day that we can all have a peaceful disagreement, right? That's the thing in life. I know, like, there's political things, there's religious things, there's, morality things. There's all kinds of things that we can be in conflict over. Anything. I mean, my daughter was telling me that Chris and I got in an argument, and it's an epic argument that she like really remembers, and her boyfriend really remembers. And I think I was talking about it on here. It was over freaking this thing called pub cheese. And I think I was, because I was talking about how I was with cheese crab. And it keeps sticking out in my mind how you can argue over something so silly when your relationship is so unhealthy and you have so much unresolved stuff. Like something like freaking pub cheese is what's going to bring us to our knees and be yelling at one another. Like, seriously? So take it on to like a bigger thing, and that makes sense why people argue. And like, here's the thing is like, we should be able to disagree, like agree to disagree, but it doesn't mean I don't love you. Just because you don't have my point of view and I don't share yours, we should be able to respect and validate one another's experience. Like, it's not wrong for her to not want to have a relationship. I support that. I'm not forcing you to have a relationship. Yes, it would have been nice if we just sat around and had a dinner at Christmas. Like, there's no harm in that, in my opinion. But to her, there is. And so I have to honor that. But I also have to honor where I'm at and say, like, I have other people and myself involved that are characters in this story as well. It's not only about what you want. And I get it. Like, it probably feels very isolating and very, alone and unsupported because nobody's just listening to you. But there are the 98% of the time that we are not here, or he is not here, we're respecting your opinion. We're respecting your choice. But on occasion, it's not going to always be your way. That's life. We don't always get what we want. And at the end of the day, we should be able to say, I love you regardless of what your opinion is on this. I support you. I may be sitting here like, I see this. This is a bad idea. But I support you. I love you. I'm going to let you go down your own path, your own way. Just like with my son, right? He didn't want to go to UCLA. Instead, he's here. He's playing his video games and all that. I support you. I love you. When my kids are unable to get jobs or doing their own things or want to go to a new college or applying to things, I get you. I see you. I support you. I love you. It doesn't mean that that's is what I would do with my own life, right? Like, it doesn't mean like it's what I want them to do. What I want them to do is what they want to do. I have to learn how to support them in that. And I have to also say, I want that same respect back. Like, I always say to myself, like, for so many years, as when it came to this relationship, like with Chris, is like, and I was contemplating whether staying or going or what we were going to do, is like, I had to really think to myself too, like, I want nothing more than to see them happy. And so I have to believe that they too want to see me happy, no matter what that is. And I can sit here and invest this energy into myself, which that would be great, because I know if you invest in yourself, you are going to be like compound interest. You're going to be soaring high. But I'm also like, a piece of me is missing. And when I'm not operating as a full entity, I can't function the same way. So I'm going to really do my best to learn how to maintain balance. And while I'm investigating this, or if it's not with Chris, like going into like, this is teaching me how to be a better partner and a better person in a relationship, and that it's okay to be honest with the things that you want. And it doesn't mean you're always going to get it, but it does mean that you have a higher probability of getting what you want because you're being honest. And it starts with being honest with yourself. For so long, I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't think I wanted a partner. I was just like, oh, it's too much work. I just want to be alone on an island and nobody wants anything from me. And nobody is like expecting all these things. And I felt so overwhelmed that I was like, I just want to be alone. Calgon, take me away. Like, it's just too much. It's too much for me. And as some of my responsibilities are falling off, like not going to PT 4 times a week and like things like that, it's down to once a week. Like, you're freeing up this energy and this time and this space. And now I can say, hey, what do I want to do with that? Do I want to fill that in with the gym time? Do I want to fill that in with this other project I'm working on? Do I want to fill it in with working on a relationship? Do I want to fill it in with working on a new job or a new project? So like, there's so many choices that we make, and things like ebb and flow. And so I really do believe that I have the energy, and I don't think it takes much energy to invest into a relationship or to invest in anything to be successful. When I began this weight loss journey, I wasn't investing a lot of time into it. And even just recently, I have had so many people that are like, you have gotten skinnier. And here's the thing, I was doing like 20,000 steps a day, like consistently for like a long time. It seemed like a year, maybe it was half a year. I don't know what it was. And I was eating like I was Michael Phelps, because I was like having to maintain all these calories. And now I'm down to 10,000 calories a day. I have more disposable time. I'm still eating very well. And people are saying I'm losing weight. And I don't understand. Like, I look, not losing weight, but like my body composition is changing. And, I just say, like, sometimes we need change. And it was because of my injury. If I wasn't injured, I wouldn't have stopped what I was doing. If I wasn't mentally depleted, I wouldn't have stopped what I was doing. I would have just kept on. But sometimes getting out of our comfort zone, getting out of it. And if you're not going to get out of it yourself, sometimes something divine knocks it out of you and is like, we're going to throw you a tizzy all at once. We're going to burn it down. And then you're going to have your option to how you want to rebuild it. And I know of everything I can choose. I mean, there's so many people at the gym, and here's, oh, I'm going to set you up with this guy, or, oh my gosh, this guy, this. And I know I could sit there and go to a bar or a nightclub or hop on an app or go sit in a coffee place. And I'm sure I could meet somebody, but there's something that's calling me and longing to still take this one last time. I say now one last, right? Who knows? But like one last time to really put in the work like I did with every other thing that mattered so much to me. I know I never invested in Chris or our marriage the way I did my kids. I know I never invested in the marriage or Chris the way I did my health and wellness journey. I know I never invested in Chris as much as I did friends or other people. I really did not. And that was the question I personally needed to sit with and be honest with myself, because I wasn't a great wife. I wasn't the best partner. I was doing the best I could with the tools I had. I know I never went out and was like intentionally trying to hurt him, but I also know that I could have done better. And if I know I could do better, what if I did? Like, what if I just showed up better? What could be different? Could anything be different? And so far, yes, but I don't know what this is, right? Like, this could be a honeymoon phase and this could end terribly. And I'd be like, what was I thinking? But I need to honor where I'm at. So I hope here that you understand, because I know somewhere, some way, some in your life, a friend, a family member, a coworker, a partner, somebody did not support you in your decisions. And that's a really tough place to be, because you don't want to cause conflict with somebody who is just saying these things because they care. But you also want to honor who you are. And so again, it's like your head and your heart are not in the same place. And at the end of the day, in order to have your most beautiful glow up journey, is you need to honor your experience. This is your life. You need to live it to make you proud. Like, you need to live it so that when you're in that deathbed and you're laying there, that you don't have regrets. And I'm not sitting there saying, what if I would have tried to work things out with Chris? What if I would have? And that's what I do. I text my siblings all the time. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, whatever it is. Because I don't want to live with regret. Because the last thing I'd want to hear is, yeah, if you would have just texted, I would have answered. And so I don't live with that regret. I say what I want to say from my heart. I'm thinking of you. I randomly will think of them and I'll send something. It doesn't mean they respond, which they don't. But it doesn't mean I have to stop being me in order to survive. I am allowed to say what I want to say and know that, like, it's not personal. It's not a rejection. I'm living my life. And in living my life, I'm going to say and do the things I want to do. I'm going to apply for the job. I'm going to apply for the show. I'm going to do those things are in my control. What happens after I do my part is out of my hands. But then I know there's no regret. There's no what if I would have. I know I did it. They didn't respond. Does that hurt? Yeah, of course. Is that the outcome I really wanted? No, but I'm okay with it. I'm at peace with it because I honored who I am. When I sent Chris the message saying, I'm confused, can we talk? It took me a long time to have the courage. It took me a long time to have the verbiage, to have the awareness. Was this real? And why is it so overpowering? Why is it like my intuition is like, my insides are screaming, you need to do this, you need to do this, you need to do this, and you need to do it now. Why? And I looked at it with a lot of curiosity, and I just had to honor where I was. And here we are now. And I'm asking him to come spend the night here so that I can hang out with him, where we hadn't shared a room for years. The last thing I wanted him was in any of my space. So this is a complete 180. And it takes me by surprise, takes him by surprise, and I'm sure it takes the whole world by surprise. And I get it. If I was looking on the outside in, I'd be like, what the heck is going on here? But there are just some things that are bigger than what you understand. And you just have to experience and live them to understand, to know what it's about. So that's where I'm at. And if there's somebody that isn't supporting you, no, I know it's really hard. And I hope that what I'm showing to my kids and the world is that it's not always it's not always easy to make a decision. It's tough. And it's tough to know that you're going to disappoint and hurt somebody else. But in order to show up for you, in order to be the best you have to listen to yourself and be able to make those tough decisions. We don't have to argue about it. We don't have to be in conflict constantly, although it has been quite contentious. I just want peace. And I hope that she can come to a place and an understanding where she can respect what my choices are, and we're doing our absolute best to not be in all around her and things like that, and that we are honoring her request as best as we possibly can. So I say, if you're out there and you're making choices and they're tough because you're not being supported by other people, know that you're not alone. But if you're making those tough decisions and you're able to stick with it, and you're not just bending in order to avoid conflict, you are on the right path for you. And I know other people may not understand, and I know other people may not support you, but I support you. I see you without judgment, without worry, because this is your life. I don't know what it's like to be you living your life. I only know what it's like to be me living mine. So I say all this to say, please go out there today, give somebody a big smile, give them a compliment, and just watch how they glow up. So thank you. Bye.